I think it can be an entry point for people mostly playing multiplayer, because if you have a friend who really loves Little Nightmares, they might bring you into that world thanks to the Friends Pass and playing with them. So hi, I'm Coralie Feniello. I'm the producer of Little Nightmares 3, working at Bandai Namco Europe. The cooperation in Little Nightmares 3 is really important for us, and we wanted to bring that to the players because it was the most requested feature from them. So you can play online co-op with a friend. We have a Friends Pass, meaning that if only one person has a copy of the game, you can still play in co-op mode. But we kept the single-player mode as well, because we wanted to also please players that are more used to play single-player and want to experience that atmosphere, basically. We always started to design with multiplayer first, because we wanted to have the AI feeling as alive and as human as possible. So starting with the multiplayer allowed us to see how a player will interact with the world and understand it better, to put the AI and making it feel as much as possible as a human. It does come with some constraints and difficulties, like for example, when you are playing with the AI is always around, so the AI needs to feel good. We've also added some flavor animation to them. Basically, if you go to one interested point, they will follow you. Either if it's a puzzle, they would do the thing, or sometimes they will just have a cute animation or an animation that fits with their personality, and I really like that. First of all, people working on Little Nightmares 3 at Supermassive Games, they're all super passionate about the world of Little Nightmares. So they've been desiccating and having a look at each detail of Little Nightmares 1 and 2, making sure that they understand the DNA of the game. On Bandai Namco side as well, we have very passionate people, but also people who worked on Little Nightmares 1 and Little Nightmares 2. On my side, I've joined the company working on Little Nightmares 2, so with Tasher, and it was really important to have a lot of communication and back and forth between us and the studio at Supermassive to make sure that we keep that DNA and that we do keep what is core to Little Nightmares. Lo and Alone, they both work very well together because they are great friends. So Lo has the bow and arrow, and he is more light-weighted. If you look at him, he's more a bit more fragile than Alone, if you just look at the design. And we thought that the bow and arrow would fit very well with him and with the way he is moving in the environment. It's also from the different adventure he had before, and he get that from other places. So, but I don't want to spoil anything. But it's part of the stories as well. For Alone, she has the branch. She's more robust and she's protecting a lot Lo. So we wanted to give that with the design and with the item that she has. Cannot tell you a lot about that. But regarding the characters, I think something we can talk about, and is very interesting, is the shape and the way they have been created. Because each character, mostly the playable characters in Little Nightmares, they all have the specific shapes. And so for Alone, she has pigtails. For Lo, he has the raven mask. And so the way they do present one with the other, I think they fit very well together. And regarding the names, you will maybe understand a bit more when you all play the whole game, I think. It's very interesting the way we've created the resident, and it's always something quite complicated, I would say. It's an iterative process a lot. So each part of the residence needs to fit together. It's the visual design first, but then you also have the animations, the sound, everything needs to fit together to show the vision that we have for them. Something that is also super important with the residence is the environment itself. Each resident is linked to a place. So on the Necropolis, you have Monster Baby. On Candy Factory, you have the Supervisor. And here on Carnival, you have the King. And each of them, they do have routines. You need to feel like you are getting into their place. You are getting to their home, basically almost like you are a mouse, like running in the home. It's the same, and so you should not feel like you're welcomed here. And yeah, it's really an iterative process, working on each of the small elements and getting to understand what would be their routine and how they would interact with the world at the end. I think it will be a different experience. I'm not sure it will be necessarily less scary, because people also tend to scare the other one. Like, if you are scared, like, it's communicative, you know. For me, it will maybe be a bit less atmospheric, like on that aspect, that I think you will feel it more in single player. But for the scariness of it, I think, yeah, you will get it in multiplayer as well. We started, like, everything has been started to be developed on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. So these are the platforms where Supermassive Games is working on, and we really wanted to bring the novelty of these platforms and all the possibilities that we have to make the world look even better. So that was what we wanted to push the most, but we also really wanted to give the game to anyone playing on almost all the consoles, because we are releasing also PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Switch 2. For these, there are portings, and it's really interesting for me to make sure that when we compromise on stuff because we need to fit the hardware, it's on the right things regarding Little Nightmares. So, like, trying to compromise as less as possible on the audio, as less as possible on the visual quality, and trying to improve the performance with other ways. And I think that's where we've worked a lot with the different teams and working together to make sure that, we get to the right quality for everyone, basically. I think it can be an entry point for people mostly playing multiplayer, because if you have a friend who really loves Little Nightmares, they might bring you into that world thanks to the Friends Pass and playing with them. And I think it's something we've seen a lot with the playtest that we've conducted during the whole creation of the game, because some people were just too afraid to start to play a Little Nightmares game. But if someone else, like a friend of you or anyone, would tell you, yeah, let's play together, sometimes it's just unlocking that thing and they will play. So I think that's where it can be a great entry point, I think, for me on the franchise. In terms of difficulty, I think it's in the same kind of level as Little Nightmares 2 from what I'm feeling. But yeah, it's definitely challenging in some parts, yeah. So we talked a bit about the co-op mode and the fact that we are designing both for single player and multiplayer. I think that has been a big challenge, because you have to think about these two modes all the time for every puzzle. One of the things that we really wanted to bring with Little Nightmares 3 is novelty in the environment. So you have each chapter having their own settings and their own residents, and all of that needed to make sense into the narration. And so I think the narrative part has also been something where we've put a lot of thought into it to make sure that everyone gets something and everyone understands the story, even if we don't have any verbal communication in the game. So everything goes through animation, it goes through environmental narration, and I really like that, but it was also kind of a challenge at some point, yeah. Several things, and the first things that comes to my mind is something that will spoil you, so I cannot talk about that. I'm sorry. But I think what makes Little Nightmares 3 unique is the narration, basically. Like, I really love the story we are telling here. I really love the interactions between the two characters and the whole different environment you will go through. So I think that's something I want the players to experience, and I'm really looking forward for them to do it, to go through our world and, like, making theories about what's going on in there and understanding that story, I think, yeah. Little Nightmares 3 is a charming horror game where you will be able to play with someone or alone if you are brave enough, and yeah. I'm just looking forward for everyone to play the game, basically. we are releasing on October 10th, 2025, on almost all platforms. So I'm really looking forward to see that, to see the community gathering around Listen Atmos. And I think that's something we've seen recently with the brand showcase we've released, like seeing people getting exciting. So that's so cool. And really looking forward to read and to see people playing.